Welcome back to today's Explainer. If you've been trying to keep tabs on the absolute mountain of current affairs from January 2025 through May 2026, you're probably feeling a bit overwhelmed. It's literally like drinking from a fire hose. So, let's cut right through the noise today. We're going to synthesize the exact events that actually move the needle, from major shifts in constitutional law to massive international economic updates, and get straight to why they actually matter to us. Okay, let's kick things off with a seemingly totally random question. What in the world connects a tranquil bird sanctuary in Uttar Pradesh to a brand new Euro-adopting nation in Eastern Europe? Well, stick around because by the end of this explainer, the bridge between local ecology and macro global economics is going to make perfect sense. It's all part of this rapidly accelerating global timeline where both domestic policies and international shifts are just happening at breakneck speed.
To keep things highly digestible, we've broken all these milestones down into four clear thematic buckets: heritage and legal milestones, expanding ecological protections, global diplomacy and economics, and finally, trailblazing women of 2025 to 2026.
Let's jump right into Section 1, Heritage and Legal Milestones. We're going to see exactly how India's cultural footprint, and honestly, its fundamental rights, evolved during this period. First up, India's linguistic heritage just got a massive official expansion. We've had 6 recognized classical languages for a while now, right? Well, recently, 5 new ones were elevated to that exact same status: Assami, Marathi, Bengali, Prakrit, and Pali. So that brings the grand total of recognized classical languages in India to 11. Now, why does this matter? Well, achieving classical status isn't just a symbolic pat on the back. It actually unlocks significant institutional support, huge academic research grants, and real global recognition for the deep historical roots of these languages. It is a massive win for cultural preservation. Shifting gears from culture to law, we absolutely have to talk about Article 21. As you know, this is a total cornerstone of the Indian Constitution, guaranteeing the protection of life and personal liberty. But the Supreme Court of India doesn't just treat this as some static, dusty piece of text. They continually interpret it in dynamic, really expansive ways to protect the modern citizen. And right in this 2025 to 2026 window, they handed down a landmark ruling. Get this. The Supreme Court officially established that holding a passport is now a fundamental right protected under Article 21. This is a game changer of a legal milestone. It means that traveling abroad and actually holding the physical document that allows you to do so is no longer viewed merely as a statutory privilege that the state can just easily revoke. It's now legally recognized as an integral part of your personal liberty. It fundamentally strengthens the individual against arbitrary state action, basically cementing your right to global mobility. Moving right along to Section 2, expanding ecological protections. Because conservation is a critical metric for a country's progress, and it's currently being driven by one very specific number: 99. This number right here represents an absolute massive win for environmental conservation efforts in India. I want you to keep this number in your head, because hitting this specific milestone took years of dedicated ecological management. And here is exactly what that number means. The Sheikh Ajil Bird Sanctuary in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, was officially designated as India's 99th Ramsar site. If you need a quick refresher, a Ramsar site is a wetland designated to be of international importance. By adding Sheikh Ajil to this list, India is proving a relentless drive to protect vital wetlands. These ecosystems are absolutely crucial. They support migratory birds, maintain groundwater levels, and are key in battling climate change. Getting to 99 sites is a huge deal because you have to meet incredibly stringent international ecological criteria to get there, not just local zoning rules. All right, Section 3, Global Diplomacy and Economics. If we zoom out a bit, this 2025 to 2026 window saw some really fascinating global realignments. Looking neutrally at the international stage, we saw a serious deepening of bilateral ties across Africa and the Middle East. Prime Minister Modi was actually conferred the highest civilian honors during state visits to these regions, specifically the Great Honor Nishan in Ethiopia and Oman's highest civilian award. These aren't just ceremonial photo ops, they are high-level diplomatic tools. They clearly signal enhanced geopolitical cooperation, mutual strategic interests, and a much deeper footprint for India with critical regional partners. Meanwhile, over in Europe, a massive shift in the economic bloc went down, and once again, it is centered around a specific number: 21. Just like 99 was huge for India's ecology, 21 is a landmark number for the European economy. On January 1st, 2026, Bulgaria officially integrated into the Eurozone. They adopted the euro, officially becoming the 21st nation to do so. This is a monumental economic milestone. Moving away from your national currency to adopt the euro, that requires years of brutal economic discipline, controlling inflation, completely overhauling complex financial regulations to align with the European Central Bank. For Bulgaria, this translates to deeper economic integration, wiping out currency exchange costs with major trading partners, and totally solidifying their place within the core European macroeconomic framework.
And that brings us to Section 4, Trailblazing Women of 2025 to 2026. Here, we're shifting from macro-level global diplomacy down to the micro-level of deeply, deeply inspiring individual human achievements. Just look at the incredible contribution of Indian Army officer Major Abhilasha Barak. She was globally recognized with the highly prestigious 2025 UN Military Gender Advocate Award. And let me tell you, this wasn't just handed out. It was hard-earned through her vital, on-the-ground peacekeeping role in Lebanon. Operating in highly volatile, high-stakes environments, her work in promoting gender equality within military operations and protecting vulnerable civilian populations, it really highlights the evolving, critical role of women in international security. Then, jumping over to the realm of extreme exploration, we have a completely different, yet equally staggering achievement. At just 18 years old, Kamya Karthikeyan made history. She literally became the youngest Indian woman to successfully ski to the South Pole. I mean, just think about the physical endurance, the sheer mental fortitude required to navigate one of the most hostile, freezing, and isolating environments on the entire planet. At 18, she redefined the limits of human endurance, joining the ranks of other recent trailblazers like Hanja Sharma in pushing the absolute boundaries of what Indian women are achieving on a global scale. When you put these two vastly different arenas side by side, it's pretty striking. On one side, you have Major Barak mastering international military peacekeeping and diplomacy in complex conflict zones. And on the other, Kamya Karthikeyan conquering extreme polar exploration, battling nature at its absolute most unforgiving. Both of these arenas were conquered by trailblazing Indian women during this exact same window of time. It's a powerful reminder that leadership and resilience come in many different forms, from the volatile regions of the Middle East right down to the ice of Antarctica. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to look back at the journey we've just taken together. We've gone from the preservation of ancient languages to the expansion of fundamental constitutional rights. We've seen critical wetlands protected, massive international alliances forged, currencies adopted, and incredible human limits completely shattered. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Which of these milestones, the legal shifts, the ecological wins, the diplomacy, or these incredible human achievements, will truly shape our collective future the most?